Hey, what's going on? It's Stokely from Sauce on Delay. Recently in the news, there's been a recall on dry shampoo. Now, I was never really I'm not informed much about how dry shampoo works. And I hope this new updated Anchor doesn't crash when I open other apps. Dry shampoo is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically a powder. You put it in your hair, and it prevents you from having to use any water to get, I guess, your hair clean. But I don't really understand how it works. I guess their premise is that the oils in your hair are going to be absorbed. But the way how wet, I understand how wet shampoo works. Wet shampoo has what's called surfactants, which is in every soap. Soap is basically a surfactant, and that's what makes bubbles. So when you wash your hand with soap, it's a surfactant, meaning that it makes the surface tension of the water. It basically increases the surface tension of the water, from my understanding. So increasing the surface tension of the water allows bubbles to form, and when these bubbles form, supposedly what they do, they lift off the dirt, they lift off the soil. They make kind of, I don't really know. I guess they allow the molecules to chain together, and when the molecules chain together, they can make large. They can expand, and they'll stay linked, and they'll expand, and they'll push things out, and they take things away. They make the surface more slippery and less, which is strange that it binds. But the water is just going to bind to each other. It's not going to bind to you or another solid or whatever the case may be. So anyhow, the surfactants, I might describe it poorly, but the surfactants are what make shampoo and soap work. Shampoo supposedly is not as harsh. I mean, actually, it's more than one thing. There's a base and a surfactant. That's how I understand it. So the base kind of breaks the bonds of the dirt somewhat, and then the surfactant takes it away. So, I don't know. That's how I understand it. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. But anyhow, that's how shampoo works, and that's how soap works. But soap and shampoo, you need water to use either one of those. Okay, so it says, let's see here. I'm going to read this CBS News article. It says, CBS News, dry shampoos containing benzene remain on store shelves, study finds. Dry shampoos used as a quick fix between washes are an increasing health concern, with more of the Aerosol spray-on products found to be tainted with cancer-causing chemical, according to findings released on Tuesday. Okay, so these dry shampoos aren't powdered. These dry shampoos supposedly are aerosols, so you're spraying them onto your hair. So it's not really totally dry then, because for it to spray, it has to be in a liquid form. But the liquid, part of it evaporates. That's why you have alcohol. So they're saying that benzene, cancer-causing chemical, it's gonna go on and say benzene. Okay, so benzene is an alcohol. So when you use these products, the benzene evaporates. The benzene keep whatever the components are in a liquidous kind of form in the spray can, in the aerosol spray can, and then when you spray it into the atmosphere, the benzene evaporates rapidly because it's volatile. Okay, let's continue. Benzene, the contaminant behind Nationwide recalls of dry shampoos by Unilever and Procter & Gamble is also showing up in products that remain on store shelves. That includes popular spray-on shampoos, including Church & Dwight's, Batiste, and Demert brands, Not Your Mother's, the new study found. Now, from my understanding, Church & Dwight is the company that owns Arm & Hammer, Bic pens, and stuff like that. They make a lot of different things. They make also, I think, Trojan condoms or one of those companies. New Haven, Connecticut. New Haven-based Connecticut Valisure tested 148 batches from 34 brands of spray-on dry shampoo and found benzene in 70%. The laboratory stated Tuesday in a news release. 30% had no detectable amount of benzene, so it can be made cleanly. So they're saying they don't have to use benzene; they can use other ingredients to make dry shampoo or aerosol. David Light, CEO of the independent lab, told CBS Money Watch on Tuesday, there's definitely a higher risk right now with propellant-based aerosol sprays. So propellant is like you can light it on fire. Said Light, whose company last year first alerted the Food and Drug Administration to its findings of benzene in spray sunscreens, antiperspirants, and hand sanitizers. Now, I don't think anybody should be using antiperspirant at all. And I had an episode on deodorant and antiperspirant. Deodorant and antiperspirant are not created equal. Deodorant just kills the bacteria under your arm. Antiperspirants kind of interfere with the ducts of your sweat glands in your underarm. So deodorant just kills the germs, but antiperspirant it kind of interacts and interferes with the glands in your body. So antiperspirants, some people were associating deodorant with cancer, but it's not really that. It's really the antiperspirants that should have been blamed mostly, if at all, for causing cancer. Okay, continuing. Petition seeks recall. Valisure on Monday filed a petition with the FDA requesting that the products found to be contaminated with benzene be recalled. Exposure to benzene can result in cancers, including leukemia and cancer of the bone marrow, as well as life-threatening blood disorders, health officials say. Spray from one can of Not Your Mother's Beach Babe dry shampoo contained 158 parts per million of benzene, while a can of Batiste Bare Dry Shampoo held 15 parts per million of the chemical, according to Valisure's findings. Inhaling benzene at levels of 0.4 parts per billion frequently over a lifetime might cause an additional cancer per 100,000 people, according to the EPA. So what does that say? That says that they tested one that has 15 parts per million, right? So 0.4 parts per billion is like, okay, out of the 15 parts, so that's 4 times 15, that's 60 times. So it has 60 times the amount that's proven to cause cancer in 1 out of 100,000 people. So, it's 60 times. So you would have to divide that 60 into 100,000, and this person would have to use this product over a lifetime. And we're not going to use this probably in our formative years unless our parents use it around us, and then we grow up and use it, or we start using it in our 20s and then we use it in our 30s. I mean, probably around my age, probably your 40s, you're not really so crazy. Well, you're not so crazy about the aesthetics. Hopefully, your hair starts turning gray. You're not really going crazy about it. But I remember that Maybelline or that Revlon commercial when the lady says, they say at a certain age you stop caring anymore. I wonder what age that is. And she was looking amazing. So maybe some of us are still using dangerous hairsprays, from when we start caring about what we look like, all the way up till the end. So it is it's potentially dangerous. You don't want to be one of 100,000 person, but it's actually more likely. No, wait a minute. It's 0.4 parts per billion, and these units contain 15 parts per million. So actually, 60 times 1,000, it's about 60,000 times. The one that only has 15 parts per million has 60,000 times the potency that's necessary to cause cancer in 100,000 people. So 60,000 into 100,000, it only goes into it once. So your chances of being affected health-wise by it is dangerous. Is significant. So then it says, Batiste maker Church and Dwight declined to say whether it had any plans for a recall, with a spokesperson for the Ewing, New Jersey-based company stating in an email that the company would evaluate the report at the center of the claims. So instead of evaluating their product, they're going to evaluate the report. Like I said in my in multiple posts, the FDA doesn't regulate. The FDA doesn't regulate cosmetics except to require you to label your products in a way that is not claiming any physiological benefits, or your product can't cause any physiological effects on people. So I'm gonna stop reading right there because I'm getting distracted. So so what's going on is these dry shampoo. I guess dry shampoo. I've heard of dry shampoo in the powdered form. So this doesn't affect the ones that are in the powdered form. These are ones that are in aerosol cans. And we've already spoken about air pollution, and aerosol cans are no good. Like, using products that come in aerosol cans usually is aerosol, OL at the bottom. Aerosol is like basically saying an atomized alcohol. That's how I'm used. Like, if I break down the word, all, that's an alcohol. Aero, that's, of course, in the air. So we're talking about atomized alcohols, and you're breathing those in. I mean, almost anything atomized is not good to breathe in. Like, we don't want to breathe in anything that's, we breathe in dust, and that's no good. But there's so many other chemicals in the air that we breathe in. There's certain chemicals that you shouldn't be breathing in. I mean, even oils, come on now. Like, you don't atomize an oil and breathe it in. That's not safe either. Like, almost anything in nature, the only thing that's really atomized is dust and water vapor. Water vapor you can breathe in, and water vapor, of course, contains sometimes pathogens. Sometimes pathogens are airborne and stuff like that. But like in nature, you can't really get oil from anything. We have to cold press and do all kind of processes to things to get the oil out of things. So chemicals really shouldn't be atomized and inhaled. Not going too far into it, I guess, but aerosol cans, aerosol sprays, whether it's Lysol in your house or any of these other products that you want to spray. I mean, like we have, I don't even want to talk about that, but you try to stay away from the aerosols. Get something that you can put in your hand and put in your hair and put it on your body. I mean, listen to this. Like, even certain, for instance, I don't know if if anyone's recalling, when it came to the Ferguson and Jackson, Mississippi, water contamination, they told people, close your mouth when you take a bath. When you're taking a bath, close your mouth. and it's not necessarily due to the contaminants getting into their mouth and, you know, causing them to have a gastric, or, you know, not drinking the water. They definitely tell you not to drink the water, but when you're taking a bath, the water becomes atomized. The water becomes basically like an aerosol. You know, the water spraying out of the hole, out of the shower, and evaporating and all that. You're breathing that in, so you could be breathing in, you know, contaminants, just like if you were spraying out of a can. So it's inhaling things is not necessarily good. It's nothing to freak out about. We can't freak out about anything. We can't be stressed and raise our cortisol levels unnecessarily, especially if there's nothing you can do about it. So you just control yourself. But the danger might be real. And then in the case of dry shampoo, you know, I'm not really for dry shampoo. It's a powder. It's a powder. It's a chemical. It's a powdered chemical. And you know, if you're putting it in your hair and you got powder all over the place, whether it's talcum powder or it's dry shampoo powder, it's gonna get all over the place. You're gonna breathe in some of it. So, you know, it's like flour. You know what I mean? So some of it is gonna be inhaled, unfortunately. So I'm not really for the whole dry shampoo thing. I mean, I understand if you want to be environmental and save water, yes, it's a good idea. You know, I may be also biased because my hairstyle, I keep my hair short at a number 2 guard on the clippers, but it would be of no use to me. It's useless to me, and it's useless in my, you know, someone with long hair now. Someone with long hair that wants to get their hair cleaned, I guess it will work. I think with the dry shampoo though, you still gotta wipe it out after you put the powder in your hair. You gotta still, like, you know, use your towel and get it out. But I'm not sure. But anyhow, that's just to let you know what's going on with the aerosol related dry shampoos. This does not apply to the powdered dry shampoos, and I definitely need to educate myself more about that. Educate myself more about dry shampoo. And thanks for listening.